So today I'm going to make for you a miso glazed roasted Brussels sprouts. So I really wanted to use miso as one of the ingredients because I feel like it's such a versatile ingredient. And this is actually the marinade that I'm making for these Brussels sprouts. Is a marinade that I use on fish. I use it on any type of vegetable. I've used it on chicken before. So this is a really, really versatile marinade. You can make like a mason jar of it. It can stay in your fridge for like 3 to 5 days. So you can use it for different things. And I really, really love it. You can also make it you can change the ratios a little bit and use it as a salad dressing as well. So miso is one of those really, really versatile ingredients. It has that umami, which means it's like nor here, nor there, kind of saltier, but like not really type of taste. And miso used to be one of those ingredients that you could really find only in specialty stores, but I find it's really something you can find everywhere now. I really haven't walked into a supermarket in a while where you can't find miso. So I felt it was a really good ingredient to kind of use and introduce to you guys if it's something that you haven't used, because it's so delicious and it creates like a really, really delicious glaze on whatever it is that you're using. So there's really no measurements for this. I specifically use like a plastic spoon for this just because I like the measurement of it. And I like to use like a plastic spoon, but you can use a regular spoon. That's fine too. My regular spoons are a little bit bigger. And I just like this specific amount. So around like kind of like a spoonful of miso. I think it's a little bit less than a tablespoon. You can use about a tablespoon. That's fine too. You can always add more if you want as well. It really depends on your taste. There's no right or wrong way here, especially if you're going to use it to roast it. The flavors will kind of all merge together anyway. Then I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil just because that really, helps give things that nice charred roasting look. Then I'm going to use a dash of soy sauce. Not a lot because we don't really need a lot. But I really just like to use like a splash of soy sauce. And then the last thing I'm going to do is some maple syrup. So you can use maple syrup, you can use honey, you can use agave, also just a splash. It kind of offsets. If you use the miso by itself, it kind of has, it has a taste that you feel like you need something sweet to kind of offset that. And I don't know really how to say it better than that. That may not be the easiest way to explain that, but you just feel like there's something that you need that's a little bit sweeter to kind of offset some of that umami taste. So I think my go-to is maple syrup or honey. You can really use anything. You can also leave it out if you want. I just think it adds good flavor. It smells so delicious. Like you really can put this on anything. The smell of it makes you realize that you really can use this as a marinade for anything. So like I said, I really use it mainly on vegetables and fish. Like a white fish or salmon. It's really delicious, even tuna, like a tuna steak, but you can also really use this on poultry as well. I've never used it on meat, but it is delicious on poultry as well. Then you're going to pour it in and really, really want to get in there. So I put a glove on because I don't want my hands to get all, the smell definitely kind of can stay for a bit in your hands, which is fine. But you really want to get in there. You want to make sure it's all coated really, really nicely because you want to make sure that they all evenly get that glaze from the miso and from the maple syrup. And maple syrup actually it causes like a Maillard reaction in the oven, which is that like caramelization reaction. So it will help these Brussels sprouts caramelize. The last thing I do, and this is totally unnecessary, is I put a little bit of fresh pepper at the top. No salt, right? I'm trying to show you that like you don't really need salt for everything. Yes, obviously there's salt in the soy sauce. There's a little bit of salt in the miso. There's no need to add extra salt. Those flavors are enough. Those ingredients have enough salt, sodium, and enough salt. Then what we're going to do is just stick this in the oven for about 400 degrees. 400 is usually perfect. You could do 415 if you wanted to take a little bit quicker, but 400 for about 25 minutes. Usually does the trick. And then this is the final, but they're like so delicious. They're like caramelized really beautifully, have really, really rich flavor. And I think this is also a really great dish to introduce people who may not love Brussels sprouts because it really takes away some of that taste, some of that bitterness that people don't love about Brussels sprouts. And it gives it a little bit of a meatier taste. So really big fan of miso. and, vegetables, fish, poultry. It's from soybean. So it's, completely plant-based. It's very much used in Asian cooking. And it's just such a delicious flavor that I use so much because it's so versatile. There are two types of miso. There's white miso and there's red miso. Red miso is typically actually used, I think, for more like heavier types of dishes. So I typically like to buy white miso. So that's something to keep in mind. If you can't find white miso and they only have red miso, that's fine. I would probably add a little bit more like honey or maple syrup. But white miso is a little bit lighter in taste. So it definitely is a little bit lighter for, for vegetables and fish and stuff like that.